guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome to my YouTube channel if you are new here. My name is Faith Monet Hill, and thank you so much for joining me today.
And my best friend, she a real bad bitch, got her own money. She don't need no nigga on the dance floor. She had 2-3 drinks, now she tore.
Today's video is a different kind of video than I've ever done on my channel before. Actually, it's gonna be a girl chat because I just felt really inclined to do a girl chat. So grab your wine or your tea or your water, whatever beverage you prefer, or your snack. We're not gonna be here long. We're gonna keep this short and quick and to the point, but it's gonna be a good girl chat, so let's get right into it. Today's topic of our girl chat is going to be knowing who you are and friendships and friendship breakups in your 20s. I have had really interesting friendship experiences as of late that I definitely wouldn't say I predicted to be happening right now in my life. I'd like to also preface this topic by saying that a few years ago I kind of had to come to terms with myself and be real with myself about the fact that I think I have some friendship trauma. Like, I had a pretty big betrayal happen to me by somebody I thought was my best friend when I was like 14. And I don't want to say I never came back from that, but I think that that has made me just be not skeptical of friendships, but just like cautious. So the friends that I do have, I just, you know, they're people that I really trust, hold near and dear to my heart. Wouldn't ever think honestly that like anything would happen. I went through a pretty, I don't even want to say intense, but just a pretty unexpected friend breakup earlier this year. And something happened to me a few weeks ago that put into perspective my friendship breakup for me. And I thought that my situation might help somebody else, or it just might promote some good conversation around just girls and friendships in our 20s, because I know that it's not easy. I talked about this on TikTok live last night, and so many people were just telling me that they've had the same experience, and it seemed like there was so much community around it, and that's really what I want my channel to be. I want it to be community. So I was like, let me bring this to my YouTube channel. And I love chit chats. Like, I love a good chit chat. Those are my favorite videos on YouTube, and I can't believe there's no girl chats on my channel. So cheers to the first girl chat. Let's get into this. So a few weeks back, I have a friend that we'll call Jade. Met Jade when I moved to Dallas, and we got super cool, super quick. She's a super cool girl. Like, I genuinely, like, I love this girl. She's so freaking cool. And something had happened a few weeks ago that made me reach out to her, and we kind of hadn't talked in a long time, but like there was no beef at all. It kind of just fizzled out, and I didn't think that there was a reason that it really fizzled out. Like, I didn't think there was something that had actually happened. Like, I just got really busy, and I know she got busy, but we still would talk on social media, everything. Like, I genuinely did not think anything happened, right? So something had happened a few weeks back. A friend of hers had hit me up and asked me if I wanted to go have drinks with them. And I just kind of thought it was weird, because I was like, well, why wouldn't, and let's call her Jade. I was like, well, if we're gonna go, if this person wants to hit me up to have drinks, like, why wouldn't we invite Jade? Like, I'm a super intuitive person, and so me being intuitive like that, I off rip thought something was weird. Like, my spirit literally told me, like, call Jade. And no, I literally have not phoned Jade or texted Jade probably in like 10 months. We've just been like talking on social media for the past 10 months. So I'm like, call her, like, she's not gonna answer, you know. End up calling Jade because I want to ask her, like, hey, like, what's good with you and this person, because they just asked me to go have dinner, and I know that's your friend. So I'm thinking to myself, like, when I call her, I'm like, she's not gonna answer. Why would I call this girl, y'all? She answers on the first ring, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh. And as soon as I answer, one of the first things that she says to me is, girl, God has been telling me to call you. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So like, God is all up in this mix. Like, this was him, you know, which it totally was. So she's like, I've been wanting to talk to you, like, about our friendship. And I I kind of raised my eyebrows. So I'm like, like, I wonder, you know. And I was like, okay, great. Like, you know, let's talk, whatever. I was like, I did call you though to ask you specifically about said person, because they asked me to go to dinner, and like, I just thought it was weird that they didn't include you. Long story short, she ended up telling me, like, yeah, we're not cool no more. So like, my intuition was right, but I'm so happy that that happened, because I would not have hit her up if that didn't happen, right? So anyways, me and Jade keep talking on the phone for like 45 minutes. She's like, no, I really do want to link with you though, and like talk to you about our friendship. We end up linking later that day, and long story short, when we link, she's like, yeah, I just kind of distanced myself from you because I had that event. There was an event that she had last year, and she was like, and I just kind of felt like you were giving like cold shoulder mean girl energy. And I was like, like that literally made me so sad. I was like, oh my god, like I'm so sorry. I never want to give off that energy. I'm not a mean girl, like at all. I am a girl's girl. Like I genuinely am a girl's girl. I am not a mean girl. I could be a little bit socially awkward, which can then come off as me being like cold and a little bit bitchy, even because I didn't know anybody there. And not to say that that's like an excuse, but I just could see that my delivery probably could be a little bit cold when I was like meeting people, or you know, I just know that I probably felt uncomfortable because I had just moved here. I didn't know anybody at that event except her, so like I could see how I could seem cold. But also I was so thankful that she told me that, because that's something that I need to be aware of as a person, and like I need to know those things about myself, because I don't ever want to be perceived that way, because I'm never trying to come off that way. I was so thankful and happy that she told me that, and I was able to apologize and we were able to move on from it, because I really value her in my life. Like she's a cool person, good person to have in your corner, fun person to be around, great energy, good spirit, like God-fearing. Those are the kind of women I want in my corner. I value community. Like I know that I'm supposed to have community. I'm not supposed to be, as much as like I am a loner and like I like my alone time, that's not how God designed us as humans, you know. So I was so happy that she told me that. But in her telling me that, it made me have this realization about my friend breakup that I had at the beginning of this year. So at the top of this year, I had this breakup with this friend that I'm not going to go super in detail with. The meat of the situation is, when me and this friend fell out, which this friendship was totally different than the one with Jade. Me and, I'll call her Rebecca, me and Rebecca have been friends for a long time, somebody that I thought would be in my wedding. So the switch up and the breakup really just like kind of broke my heart, honestly. Like actually broke my heart. Hard for me to like let go of the situation, because I'm just like, wow, I'm so used to this person being in my life, we're just not gonna be cool anymore. And then also there was nothing that happened. Like it made me realize that in the situation with Jade, I was able to be like, oh my god, I did this to you, I am so sorry, like I can fix that, thank you for telling me, thank you for addressing that. Like I was able to do that. With Rebecca, I wasn't able to do that. The situation with Rebecca was a lot different. We had kind of like just kind of grown apart in a way, but I think that all relationships have seasons. So when I felt like there was like a distance between us, I kind of just thought it was because we were going through different seasons in life, like we were busy, until it kind of started getting really apparent that like she was canceling on like all of our plans consistently. And I ended up saying something one day about how like, okay, hey, like I kind of sense that something is wrong, like we don't ever see each other, you literally canceled everything. And this was kind of something that we had talked about even before that happened. She had told me that she was sorry for doing that all last year, because this was something that had kind of just been really, it'd been really building up. So we'd already talked about it, honestly, before I even actually told her it was bothering me. I really believe in giving people grace, and you just don't know what people are going through. So even if she was canceling on me, you know, and kind of neglecting our friendship, I'm a really independent person, so I really didn't take it personally until it kind of just started to feel personal, and I really felt inclined to say something. So when I finally did say something, I was like, you know, hey, you keep canceling, I just feel like this is gonna, you know, eventually create a big wedge in our friendship, and I care about our friendship, and so that's why I said something. I was like, I love you and I don't want to lose you as a friend. Long story short, we ended up having a conversation. I just kind of feel like if I never asked, she wouldn't have told me. So I don't know how I feel about that either. But long story short, she ended up telling me that she just felt really disconnected from me, because she felt like I was changing, and that I was superficial, materialistic, and that I was like losing myself in social media. And all of those things really hurt my feelings. Like, not even at first, I kind of think that I used the word offended a lot, but it didn't even really offend me, because I know who I am. And that's where I wanted to, you know, bring this full circle. People will definitely try and tell you about yourselves based on their own perceptions, the things that they're going through, and it's always going to be variable, because people's perceptions are their own perceptions. I also really believe that in friendships and in growing and like being in our 20s, if you're not doing anything to yourself or to me that's like directly affecting me in a negative way, or directly affecting you in a negative way, then it really doesn't have anything to do with me. And so it was hurtful to hear that, you know, I was being perceived as those things by somebody that was so close to me. It's one thing to hear that from somebody who doesn't know me, like maybe somebody that just sees me online and, you know, that's what they get. It was really hurtful. But I've been getting a lot of just clarity even in the past few days about the real true importance of knowing who you are, because when you know who you are, that's when you're unstoppable and nobody can stop you. It's like, things could be unfortunate, like now I can look at that situation and be like, that's really unfortunate. And the difference between my conflict with Jade versus my conflict with Rebecca is that with Jade told me, hey, you acted this way towards me, it hurt my feelings, you know, can we move past this? I can apologize. And yes, we can move past it. And I'm self-aware. I don't mind people being critical of my actions towards them and things that I'm doing that affect them that, you know, are actually negative. It's not cool to like be a cold person at an event and come off like you're giving off mean girl energy. That's not cool. And I want people to let me know when I'm doing negative things like that. I have no problem with that because I'm not perfect. I'm a human and I can correct my wrongs, you know? Difference between that situation where I can apologize for something versus the situation with Rebecca. Like, I can't apologize for the way that I'm being perceived and what you think about me based off of your own lens of your own perception, you know, like that just unfortunately has nothing to do with me. And I think that in your 20s people are going to come and go, and I think that when people go, depending on what the situation is at hand, it makes it a lot easier when people go when you know who you are, because you know what God told you, you know who God said you are. It makes it a lot easier when things don't work out because you know that what's for you is for you. And I think that there's so much power in knowing your strengths, your vulnerabilities, your flaws. There's so much power in all of those things. And you know, friendship breakups are really, really hard. I have seen a lot of friends, not a lot of friends, but I've seen, you know, a few friendships come and go in my lifetime. And you know, while they always suck and there's always like just like an awkwardness and just like this sucks, this is so weird that I thought we were gonna be friends forever, there's always that vibe. I just think knowing who you are makes it a lot, it doesn't make it necessarily hurt any less, but it makes it an easier pill to swallow. It makes you not be offended, it makes it easier to move on. So if you're going through a friendship breakup, whatever the situation may be, of course I think it's important that if you actually did something to a person, to be real with yourself, say sorry, apologize. If that's a friendship that, you know, you want to keep around in your life, that's really, really important. If it's a friendship that you didn't really care about, then, you know, that's a different story. That might not be as important. But be a good person, you know, like be a good person, have a good heart, be kind. But if there's situations where people are just attacking your character or trying to dissect your character from their own perspective and point of view and their own lens based off of whatever they're basing things off of, you know, that's not cool. And don't let people try to tell you about you, because only God can tell you about you. I see a lot of girls talking about, I really wanted, you know, the big girl group, and I wish I had more girlfriends. You know, there's times where like I wish I had more girlfriends, because it always looks so fun when you see that big group of like 7 girls doing something. But I've been in my life in periods of times where I was in situations where there's 7 girls, and like honestly, personally, it's just like that's really not for me. I'm not a 7 girly type of vibe. Like that's a lot of people, you know. I'm cool with my tribe. I have a good tribe, and I also was blessed with a sister. And if you have a sister, you know, like having a sister is different. I'm not really messed up about any friends. My sister is my literal soulmate. But on the other hand, like I said, community is so important. So I so value the relationships and the sisterhood that I do have in my life. But at the same time, everybody's not going to stay. It's really important, like I said, to just use that judgment of, did I do something? Is this an action I can apologize for? Is this something we can move past? Or, you know, vice versa, did this person do something to me? Can I move along from what they have done to me? Versus, I can't even move along from this. You know, like this person really just might have grown to not like me. We might have really just grown apart, and you see me as these certain things, but like I can't apologize for that, and I know who I am. So we just can go our separate ways. Everybody's not meant to stay. And as you grow closer to yourself, grow closer to God, closer to your calling, closer to really using your God-given gifts that he's given you, as you move closer and closer to that, people are gonna fall off. But not only are people gonna fall off, you're going to meet people along the way that feel like they're supposed to be there. In conclusion, if you're going through a friendship breakup, you know, I know that it sucks in the midst of it, but stay strong. If you did something, apologize. If somebody did something to you action wise, you know, discuss it with them. Communication is everything. Don't wait until things get to a point where neither one of y'all wants to talk about it anymore. Get it out, you know, don't wait. But also be graceful to people. I think try not to perceive people through a lens that has nothing to do with them. You know, oftentimes a lot of people are projecting, and I even have to keep that in mind for myself when I'm just considering things. Like, I don't ever want to project my own biases onto other people. I'm really intentional about that, like so intentional about that. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that we can chat more. I really love y'all. I think that we're almost at 2,000 subscribers, which is crazy because I really don't even post on here, but I'm literally grateful for every single one of y'all. Really look forward to more girl chats. And also I want to tell y'all, if there's any content creators, aspiring content creators that are watching my videos, that are inspired by me at all, that like want to start, don't know where to start, just start. Like literally just start. And also my last thought, concluding the tip of like just knowing who you are, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks of you. All that matters is what God thinks of you and what you think of yourself. That's all that matters. So like if you're nervous about starting something because you don't know who's gonna watch, like forget it. It literally does not matter. Do what you want to do for you. The people that are supposed to be around you will stay, and the ones that aren't will go, and be cool with that because God has a plan. I'm sending y'all so much love and just warmth and light and positivity, and I hope we can chat in the comments. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see you guys really soon in another video. Bye.
And my best friend, she a real bad bitch, got her own money. She don't need no nigga on the dance floor. She had 2